Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time. This is Game 2 this evening, an adventure I've entitled The In-Between. But before we go into that, this most gracious third week of the Carnival of Souls, I want to just take a moment to, before I even introduce the characters, say a good old thank you to all of the amazing support we're getting in the chat. Thank you very much, Blood Deuce, for subscribing for 15 months. That's 1-5. It's a very large number of months. Apparently we're at the big 15 already. Wowzers, I like the numbers divisible by 5. This is so nice. Blood, you're going to ruin it next time, but you know what? If you do ruin it, I appreciate it still. Even more so because I know it bothers you. And I know that it's a work of passion and love. But thank you so much for it. Thank you as well for Xander, 11 months with Twitch Prime, 1 month away from a year with Friendos. Xander, you've been here for like 3 years. It's all good, bud. But thank you so much for your support nonetheless. And Reflected 10-8 playing in this very game. Thank you very much for your bit donation. We appreciate you very much. Of course, we appreciate all of you just for being here and hanging out and watching and playing in our game. But gotta give my shout outs. Okay, now we're gonna get into the game, an adventure I've entitled The In-Between. Let me just take a minute though before we jump into it to talk and introduce our 4 lovely heroes. It's mostly new characters coming in this evening to a very complicated situation, as I'm sure you all know. You've been invited to this fancy dinner party as part of Bartholomew's adventuring company. The entire mansion that you were invited to and the surrounding grounds has been transported into an illusory domain, and Bartholomew's just been sending out adventurers on little missions to recover treasures, but also, at this point, to try and weaken the barriers. But I digress. Who do we even have visiting tonight? Let's start off with probably the only veteran character here in the lands of D&D Time. That's Waiyubi. Waiyubi, how are you? I'm sorry, Waiyubi.
I'm doing well, Jeremy.
Now, Waiyubi, you're used to godlike power.
You could say such.
Well, I guess first, how does it feel being lured into this trap and spirited away into an extra-dimensional illusory plane?
To have the world torn from you and tossed into a lie is merely to see past the veil.
Are you telling me that this is nothing? Like, this is not even interesting? Waiyubi, are you? I mean, what have you been doing at the party? Like, what does I want to say former god, but are you still a god?
I suppose that remains to be seen.
What does a god do at a dinner party?
Apparently look for trinkets for a wizard.
Apparently so. And it is Waiyubi, correct?
Indeed.
Excellent. Well, Waiyubi, welcome back. I'm not sensing any sort of hostility here, so I'm going to assume that you're okay with this situation. And, I wish you a great adventure.
It is appreciated.
Our next hero this evening is, a fairly rare breed of characters here in the lands of D&D Time. We don't see all that many Lumberlings joining us, but sure enough, Odowodus. I'm so sorry if I ruined that, Odowodus.
Hello. No, you did not.
But that was the correct pronunciation of your name?
It is not terribly difficult. It's not some sort of trick.
Huh. Well, Odowodus, first of all, welcome. I'm sorry this had to be your first adventure here, trapped in an illusory prison, effectively. But, how have you been enjoying yourself at least before it became scary?
It is certainly an interesting place that we find ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think it, in fact, became slightly more enjoyable. It is, after all, a much more unique experience.
You're a man after experience, or a tree after experiences.
Yes.
Very exciting. Well, Odo, mind if I call you Odo? Is that okay?
Do you take me for some pool of jelly?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Odowodus. I didn't mean to insult you. I'm sorry. I have to ask. I've got dumb human eyes, and I can't see very well in all of this darkness. What kind of tree do you like resemble as a lumberling, a tree man?
I have been told I look more like oak than anything else, but I tend not to try to look too closely. It can get a little dangerous when I do.
Oh, you don't want to poke your own eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That must be a struggle. I have enough trouble with just my hair. I can't even imagine what branches must be like.
It is an experience.
Well, I mean, for you, it's probably normal. I'm sorry. This is my small-minded kind of human perspective here. Well, Odowodus, welcome, of course. And you know what? I hope you also have a great adventure.
Why, thank you.
Our next hero is Kokla Aeriskiba. Did I say that correctly, Kokla?
Kokla Aeriskiba.
Oh, hello, Kokla. What, pardon?
I'm a kobold.
Oh, you're a kobold. I don't know why. For some reason, our overlay thinks you're a high elf, Kokla. I think that must just be broken, but welcome. I mean, there are a lot of kobolds in the land of DnDTime. Do you know any of them? Are you guys all like friends? Did you kind of word of mouth? One thing goes to another.
There's one kobold and he's so dreamy.
Oh, really? Who's this?
Who's Zeta?
Oh, really? Oh, are you?
Adore Zeta.
Well, I mean, Zeta is the prince of Tuk, I believe, right? Or something like that. I'm sorry, I miss out on my kobold lore. I should really not be skipping my kobold lore classes. Well, Kokla, do you like know Zeta? Are you two friends?
I've seen him and I've heard about him, but he doesn't really know about me.
Ooh, well, I'll tell you, Kokla. Zeta's been adventuring with Bartholomew's adventuring company for a while now. You might actually get the opportunity to go on some adventures with them in the future, if things turn out well.
It's so exciting!
Well, Kokla. Huh?
It's nothing.
No, it's nothing. Okay. I was gonna say, well, I'm glad that you're really excited. So, have you even noticed that you've been trapped into an illusory realm, or has it all just kind of been a blur? Because I heard that Zeta was at the feast.
I saw him, but then I lost him, and so I decided that I was going to help.
You know what? That's a very good way of seeing things, Kokla. And welcome, of course, to the adventuring company. I hope things turn out well for you. Maybe you can find Zeta. I know they went out into the estate some time ago. And of course, yeah, thank you. Have a great adventure. And our final hero joining us this evening is a man, or shall I say a frog, after my own heart, Jeremiah Michigan Bullfrog. Jeremiah, how are you, my man?
I'm a little confused.
Yeah?
But I kind of expected this. I mean, if I wanted to be a part of this troop, I figured there'd be some danger involved.
I mean, it is an adventuring company. There's generally some degree of danger involved in it, but Jeremiah, did you really expect it to go this belly up?
Not quite.
What did you have in mind for what would go wrong? I'm just wondering, what idea did you think? It'd be a dragon attack, or
Well, not exactly. I just didn't expect the shop to be like completely surrounded in darkness.
You know what? That's absolutely valid, Jeremiah. I guess that's the last thing you kind of, you expect a monster that you can see. You never expect the darkness that you can't fully comprehend. I totally feel you. Well, Jeremiah, what brings you to adventuring with Bartholomew's company?
Well, it's a long story, but basically, I'm looking for my princess totally. See?
Oh.
I open the locket, and it's a little copper locket, and it's just a picture of a normal everyday toad.
Oh. You're looking for your princess. Do you know where she is?
I don't know where she is. I don't know where she comes from. I just know, after hearing the legends from the Grung Elders, she's got to be the most beautiful Grung in existence. After finding this locket, I just know I'm destined to find her.
This is a situation of destiny. Then you're destined to find and fall in love with this beautiful frog princess.
Yeah, but I'm just barely 2 years old. I'm not impressive at the moment, so I figure join the troop. I get some impressive feats, and maybe win her over with my song and dance.
That is absolutely incredible. I really love the passion and really the love is really what's winning me over here. I can feel it welling up within you. Well, of course, Jeremiah, welcome. I hope that you have a good opportunity to earn some feats this evening and win over, start to kind of build your repertoire and win over this lovely princess of yours. And of course,
hoping.
Welcome. Yeah, of course, yeah, welcome as well. And so, as we kind of come into tonight's adventure, a lot of you are some of the last adventurers remaining. Just a few hours ago, the adventuring company arrived here at Grim Hollow Estate in the middle of some dark and kind of, decrepit forest. And you found the mansion to be abandoned, knowing that the previous owner had died some time ago. You've been looking around. Bartholomew's been sending people out to kind of loot treasures that are hidden here in illusions. And at the stroke of midnight, you are teleported into this extra-dimensional realm. And so now, after some parties have gone out in search of clues, Bartholomew's come to the conclusion that, in fact, the enemy here, the real threat, is an ancient or an old friend of his who had been killed a few years later, a master illusionist, of which realm you are now stuck in. And so, Bartholomew sent one group up toward the attic, knowing that if you stretch the boundaries of the illusion, it'll become weak. And so he sent one to the attic and turned to a lot of you and told you that you were to head into the forest, try to stick together and try to be safe. If you can pass through the forest and reach the boundaries of this illusion, you'll know when it starts to get heavy and almost like water to tread through the air. That you'll be stretching the illusion at its boundaries and making it weaker and giving the rest of the group a chance to perhaps escape. And so, a lot of you find yourselves just outside Grim Hollow Manor. You see above you a dark and twisting sky of stars and lights and, colors, almost like vortexes of paint. You see Grim Hollow Manor rising above you, almost stretching up into the stars themselves, distorted by your perception in this strange illusory realm. Looking down before you, there's a slight hill, and a dark, dark forest. Who would like to lead the way?
Let us begin our trek then.
All right. You begin to make your way toward the forest. Waiyubi leading the group. And as you step down the hill, foot over foot, the grass is spongy and damp, although it hasn't really rained. And it takes you longer than it looks. The forest edge only looks to be maybe 50, 100 feet away, but you're walking for a few minutes. The ground before you just kind of stretching as you're approaching. And as you walk, you see what seemed to be a cloudless, twisting, colorful sky becomes cloudy and overcast as you're approaching the gnarled, dead forest. And as you reach the forest's edge, a crack of thunder and the falling of rain. You see crooked, dead tree limbs stretching up into the skies. You see small shrubs, little twigs sticking out of them, although they are fairly sparse. And something of a path going out over twisted and crooked tree roots. Waiyubi, you lead the way. You take your first step over and begin to head into the forest. And it's as Waiyubi takes their first step over one of the tree roots and turns around a large oak tree. The rest of you, well, coming around, who's second?
Odowodus will follow second.
Odo, as you go around and take a step onto the large tree root, kind of gnarled, pushing out of the muddy, now waterlogged soil, you hear the crunching of leaves of Waiyubi, and then you hear nothing. And as you look around the trunk of the tree, you don't see them. Looking back, you see your party following behind you at a small distance.
I turn, looking at them, and say, I'm not terribly good in the dark. Do any of you see where Waiyubi went?
Can take a look.
Okay. Waiyubi, you took a step over this tree branch and you heard the cracking of leaves, albeit dampened by the rain. And then, as you turned around the actual trunk of the tree, that all kind of disappeared behind you. And looking back, you don't see your party. In fact, you just see forest back just the way you came. What do you do?
It would seem yet again those who have followed me have been consumed by the void. I will continue to do the duty that the wizard bestowed upon me, heading deeper within the wood.
And as you flip forward, sorry, as you make your way forward, Kokla, to take a closer look, can you roll me a probably an investigation check as you're kind of looking around to the tree trunk?
A what?
An investigation check. Actually, I guess you could roll perception as well if you'd like, but that's probably okay. I'm just going to go with the investigation set. One makes the most sense here. As you peek around the tree and you're like looking as far as you can for Waiyubi, you don't see them at first, but then you see Waiyubi's form somewhat. It seems almost like a walking shrub at first, and then you see the branches kind of disappear into an almost translucent gray. And Waiyubi, what do you look like for anyone interested?
I have a rather, as one might describe, unsettling visage, flesh that doesn't quite seem correct. What you can imagine of, say, a trident or a sea elf, but like grotesquely fucked up.
You're just like weird, like kind of like mutated and distorted. You have multiple arms and stuff like that.
Like if a Triton was on the Flying Dutchman in the second Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I like that because I think, okay, excellent. So you see this figure kind of just almost appearing out of nowhere, Kokla, as you look. And as you like blink hard, seeing them just kind of appearing out of the ether, this weird shadowy gray around them, you also begin to hear them again, muttering to themselves about, I guess I'll go on alone. As they seem to not be able to see you.
Hey! Don't forget us!
Waiyubi, you hear this little kobold voice kind of cut through out of nowhere.
Wait up, I'm small.
You kind of hear that voice fading up, and as you're looking over, you see what appears to be what you saw was just kind of forest in that direction, also fading into gray. It seems the moment you were out of sight of each other, you got locked into some sort of illusory kind of trickery. But Kokla being able to kind of see through that falsity, maybe seeing the trails of your cloak kind of passing through a bush where it shouldn't be able to. You again can see each other, even just a few feet in. And actually, I realized I neglected to ask something of you all. Before you left, Bartholomew had a big take one bag of cool magic items. What did you guys pick?
The fallen cloak with the little pretty leaves and stuff.
Beautiful. So Kokla got the fallen cloak.
Here, if you want to know what it is like to have branches, maybe I can arrange my cloak on your head, and so you can see what it is like.
Did you also pick the fallen cloak?
I also have the fallen cloak.
Oh, it's wonderful. Do you have leaves normally?
Seasonally.
Excellent. So this is just back in season. Waiyubi, what did you pick?
I made quite the discovery. I had taken a cloak of elven kind, though it seems in this time it has begun to rot and decompose. It seems more leaves discarded than a true fine cloak.
Another fallen cloak, once a beautiful elven cloak, and Jeremiah, which one did you grab? Jeremiah?
I got the Doulahan choker.
The what?
Not the Doulahan. The headless horseman choker.
Oh, the helm of the headless. Are you wearing a pumpkin helmet right now?
I'm sorry?
Are you wearing the pumpkin helmet right now? The helm of the headless?
No, not at the moment. It's so big on me. I just look like a pair of frog legs.
Beautiful. All right, so you guys all have your items. Sorry if I missed that. But yeah, it appears you've just discovered right after this forest is filled with illusory trickery. And you realize you should probably try and stick as close together as you can as you travel through. And so you start to kind of just travel through. It's a dark and windy night. It's kind of a hilly forest. There's little mounds of dirt and the occasional large crag of rock jutting up. You have to kind of climb over it. There's not a very convenient path that winds through. There was something of one, but it ended pretty much right there at that first illusion trap. And so as a lot of you make your way through this forest, and the kind of bare branches of the trees kind of loom down at you like grasping fingers, You stick close together, and the darkness envelops you. Now, do any of you not have dark vision?
Odowodus does not have dark vision.
Mm-hmm. Now I know Kokla, you have dark vision. Waiyubi,
Yes, I
do you have dark vision?
Indeed.
And Jeremiah, did you have dark vision?
No, but I got a torch.
Excellent. So Jeremiah's taking up the rear, just kind of being a smaller creature, being a little grung, just kind of hopping up back behind you guys with the torch. It spreads light, but it only goes so far. And as you travel further and further into this deep and dark forest, you can feel the darkness almost encroaching in on you. At first, the torch sheds the full 60 feet of light, but after walking for a few minutes, it seems that the darkness has crawled in, and the torch now only sheds out to 40. And it seems to be getting ever smaller. Eventually, you come to something interesting. There's something of a ravine up ahead, a large crag in the earth. It's only about 30 feet across, and there's an old kind of rope bridge that crosses it. You can see on the other side there's a small waterfall coming out from a stream, and looking down at this ravine, well, at least for the 60 feet that your dark vision goes, it's just drop. Perhaps goes deeper. It's sort of hard to tell. What would you all like to do as you come to this ravine?
I'd like to take a better look at the bridge.
Sure, you want to go over to the bridge?
A better look at it. See if it's actually able to hold people.
Sure. I would like you to roll me a dexterity saving throw as you go to hop over to the bridge. All right, as you go to hop over and look at the bridge, Kokla, there is a sudden massive strike of lightning from the sky, which slams into the bridge and it snaps and falls down. You dash backward, hop backwards, trying to avoid any of the front from it, but end up taking 4 points of lightning damage as you kind of get some residual zap. And now there's not a bridge. I mean, it's still hanging down there, but definitely can't hold people.
Hey.
You just kind of yip and hop back.
And after hopping back, I'm gonna use a cantrip on myself.
Uh-huh.
Thing.
You're gonna just mending and fix up your stuff a little bit. I respect it. Excellent. You patch up any little burns on your clothes and any of your gear, and it's helpful. Definitely helps to keep some of the rain out, but as you look across, the bridge that maybe could have brought you deeper into the forest appears to have, well, just been broken off of its post on your side. You see the kind of rope and plank bridge hanging down from the other side where it is still affixed. What would the lot of you like to do?
Odowodus would like to step over towards where the bridge once was and gently feel with their foot to see if that what looks like air would feel solid still.
Trying to see if there's some sort of illusory invisible bridge there, basically. Is that what you're looking for?
That, or just the whole thing is an illusion and we can continue to walk and sort of appear to float.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you kind of feel around, no, it's definitely a crevice, it looks like. Nope, this is legit. Being, from what Bartholomew would have explained before sending you out, being a master illusionist and you all being trapped in this illusory realm, the evil ghost wizard who has trapped you here can even though you are in an illusion, everything here is illusory. Sometimes illusions can have physicality, and in this case, yeah, this is a legitimate cliff. Oh, actually, Kokla, do you have 120 feet of dark vision because you're a kobold? You might actually. You might have better dark vision than everyone else. I just realized. Nope, it's still only 60 feet. Okay, we're good. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, what do you all, so you've discerned it is in fact a real crevasse, and the bridge is hanging down on the other side where it's still affixed on the other side. It's just the posts on your side where it was wrapped up are, well, they just got splintered.
Which side is that river or stream that was pouring down at?
It's on the opposite side, maybe 50 feet away from the bridge. It goes off into the forest on the other side.
And how far or how wide is the chasm?
25, 30 feet. It's pretty wide, but it's not insurmountable, you think. It's not jumpable, usually, unless you had some sort of special jumping. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you could probably make the jump, because you have the special grung jumping, right, Jeremiah?
Nope. I can only really go about 25 feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 25, 30 feet, something like. You could make the jump with an ability check, I think. I don't know if you'd want to do that, but you could.
Yeah, even if I could, I mean, the rest is still over here.
That's true.
I mean, does anyone have some rope?
I mean, I think all of you guys have some rope. You're adventurers.
What are you thinking?
Well, if we have something stable on this side to tie rope to, and then take the rope to the other side, we could use the rope.
I think I have an easier solution to this.
I'll take the one end of the rope and tie it to a crossbow bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot it into a nearby tree across the ravine.
Sure. I mean, I think you can just do that. It's fine. Now, will the crossbow bolt hold you? That's questionable. But the rope is kind of now limply affixed between the tree and where you are.
Well, I'm pretty light, so I'm pretty sure I could climb across either way.
Odowodus is not.
How large is Odowodus?
Odowodus is over 8 feet tall and
It's like a 3-ton oak tree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's light for a giant tree, man.
But I can still climb across the rope and affix it to something sturdy.
And Kokla, you looking at it, and you think you probably could also climb across. I mean, both of you are pretty light, smaller creatures. You don't want to try and do that? Oh.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time, but let's go across.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm pretty sure I'm lighter.
And
So
Odowodus will try to serve as an anchor on this side of chasm.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You dig in those roots and hold on, and it's not going
Odowodus
anywhere.
will just take root.
Oh, right. Yeah, you literally aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's actually really helpful in this moment. All right. So as you're holding it, and Jeremiah, you kind of grab your hands and feet onto the rope and begin to kind of rappel yourself across. It's slow going. You can only go at about 5 feet per round when you're climbing like this, because it's just, you got to be careful and it's slow. But, as the rain's coming down and you hear the thunder, as you're about halfway across, suddenly there's a large gust of wind that just begins to tear across the ravine that absolutely was not there a moment ago, and begins to buffet you. Now, everyone else can see this happening on the other side. Would any of you like to do anything? And suddenly there's this blasting wind down the ravine that is buffeting your poor friend Jeremiah trying to climb across.
Well, good thing I have sticky toes.
Sticky toes.
And a literal tree in the party.
That's true, you do have sticky toes. Oh, God, I totally forgot about that. Kokla and Waiyubi, do either of you want to do something as you see this wind start to buffet your sticky-toed friend?
I can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea if you've got something you want to do. But, okay, so hearing nothing, the wind buffets against you, and two things need to happen here. First, I need you to roll me this is to you, Jeremiah, a strength saving throw as you're being buffeted by the wind. Oh, you hold on pretty well. The next question is, does the rope and how many hit points does a crossbow bolt have? I'd say a crossbow bolt has like maybe 4 hit points. I'm gonna be generous. So I'm gonna roll a d6. The crossbow bolt takes 3 points of damage as everything's just being whipped and jostled around, which is not enough to break it. And so you're able to scramble across really quickly the last little bit, Jeremiah. And right as you're getting to the other side, you see that crossbow bolt is like about to snap. But you are on the other side of this ravine, and you have another end of the rope. And as you get to the other side, you see the wind notably die down.
Well, of course it'd only be blowing when I'm trying to cross it.
What would you like to do now that you're on the other side?
Tie that sucker down good to the tree.
Okay. You go ahead and you tie it up nice and taut against the tree there. That's easy enough to do. Okay. So you're still holding it on the other side, Odowodo, right? I'm sorry, Odowodus. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Odowodus. Not pseudo-wudo, Odowodus. So Odowodus, you're still holding it, right?
Yes.
All right. Did you want to go next, Kokla?
Yep.
All right. Now, as you start to kind of clamber up onto the rope, and you're like, all right, you can kind of hear the wind starting to blow again.
I will wait before crossing.
Okay, it's just staying there. It's like a light breeze. It's not like full gale force like it was a moment ago for your friend Jeremiah. It's almost like it's waiting for you. Would you like to take any special preparations?
Odowodus pulls out a second length of rope and just kind of looks questioningly.
I will attempt to attack the wind.
You're gonna attack the wind?
I will throw a javelin that direction to try to take out anything that might be blowing it that is hidden by illusion.
Excellent.
Koko's gonna hesitantly start over.
Okay, do you tie up like a little like lasso to
Yes.
yourself? Yeah, excellent.
Because
So you're now holding on.
strong.
You're now holding on to 2 ropes, Odowodus. One is the rope. It's like this is the safe. This is the lifeline. The other one is just the crossy rope.
Yeah. Although I'm gonna tie the crossy rope around myself,
Yeah, excellent.
and I'm going to hold on to the life rope because that one I might need to because that one I might need to actually like pull and get help with.
Excellent. Waiyubi, I'd like you to roll an attack roll. Can you roll me damage? As you tear one of your spines off and huck it into the wind, you hit something. And Kokla, you hear immediately as you're like starting to climb across, you hear the wind start to build up, but then it just dies. It stops. And you see almost like a weird distortion in the rain and wind over a little ways over. You can't see precisely what you hit, but based on the way the spine like moved and twisted its position and the way the wind started to kick up but then went down, you hit something where there's some sort of invisible creature there that was causing the wind. But you have immediately lost track of it. That being said, you seem to have bought your ally, Kokla, a free crossing. Kokla, you make it to the other side. You now have 2 ropes. One's tied to your waist, and the other one is, well, crossing. What would you all like to do?
Posts to the bridge on this side's solid, like how sturdy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The posts seem fine. It was just the way the rope that was affixing the bridge to the posts on the side you were on previously. Those are what broke with the lightning strike. The posts at least seem okay.
She's gonna tie her rope to one of the posts.
Okay. So you now have one rope right across. Well, I guess you have 2 because you have the other one that Jeremiah tied up as well. What are your all's moves?
Wait, so we how many ropes do we have and where are
there?
So
are now 2 ropes that are crossing. They're on one side. One of them is tied around your waist, Odowodus. The other one's in your hands. And on the other side, they're both tied. One of them's tied to one of the posts. The other one is tied to a nearby tree.
Tie both ropes to the posts if they're sturdy enough.
Sure. Yeah.
With both ropes.
You could do that if you'd like. You fix both of the ropes and all right, who's gonna cross?
I will take the one that isn't tied around Odowodus. Wait, no, Odowodus.
Uh-huh.
And it's tied to the post that the bridge was tied to?
Yeah, you basically have the 2 ropes right now that are going across where the bridge was. Just on one side, they're tied to 2 posts. On the other side, they're both tied to Odowodus.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the one that was just used as a lifeline that got tied off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tie it around my waist, kind of choke up my grip on it, and I'm just gonna drop down into the chasm and swing across to the bridge and see if I can't climb up the bridge like a ladder, because it basically is a rope ladder at this point.
Cool. You hop down into the ravine, and that's your idea is basically to just drop down, swing to the other side, and then climb up, right?
That's my plan.
Cool. Could you roll me? Actually, I don't really think there's any sort of roll attached to this. You go to swing down the 60-foot drop, and you hit the ground after 20 feet. There is illusory ground 20 feet down. It's not nearly as far down as it looks. You take 6 points of damage as you just kind of boom, hit what appears to be an illusory, like, river passing through here. It was completely invisible a moment ago, but as you hit it, and like, oh, like your legs kind of get scratched up. You slammed into some rocks, and yeah, there's a fast-flowing river. And as he hits that, or I'm sorry, as they hit that, the rest of you see this ravine is not 60 feet deep. It's only 20 feet deep, and there's a little river crossing. But besides that, you go over, and you're able to climb your way up if you'd like.
Yep. I'll just swim my way across the ravine and climb up.
Okay. I would like...
Actually, while I'm down there, I'm just gonna go down and take a few minutes to see if there's anything terribly shiny at the bottom of this river.
Yeah, as you kind of poke your head down at the bottom of the river, there is like a small like chest at maybe 15 feet underwater, but it looks like there are some nasty looking piranhas swimming around it.
I will surface and Odowodus, I seem to have found booty, plunder, what you call you it. Would you assist me in gathering?
Of course, and I unroot myself and go over to the edge of the cliff and grab the edge and just kind of lower myself down slowly, and then hanging there, just kind of let go and drop.
Yeah, I mean, it's only about a 10-foot drop at that point because you're so big.
Yeah.
Could you roll me, I guess, I'm going to treat this as an athletics check, like a climb. It's a very low DC. If you make it, you're not going to take any fall damage at all, because now you're completely aware. Unfortunately, because you're falling into like rocks and running water, you do take a tiny bit of falling damage. You take 2 points of falling damage, Odowodus, as you kind of twist your proverbial ankle. I guess maybe you have ankles, but if you did, you would have just twisted one, falling into the water. The rest of you, I guess, Jeremiah and Kokla, you see from where you are on the other side, this now seemingly real river in where there was once a ravine. Would either of you two like to hop down where your friends seem to be going and exploring, or are you going to stay where it's safe?
I'm gonna stay put, but watch.
Okay.
I can hop down with no problem if they need me. I'll just keep an eye out.
Okay. So you just kind of hop your way down. You guys have ropes on your side, so you're just like down, no issue, if you'd like. So you lower yourself down into the river as well, Jeremiah. All right. Yeah, you're in the water now. What do you want to do? You're swimming above this part where you found this small treasure chest. What's the move?
Do maintain some caution. There appear to be piranha. Shall we attack the piranha?
Yeah, I mean, you see them. They're all just swarming around the treasure, it looks like.
How many little swarm?
It looks like just one kind of swarm of these little piranhas kind of swimming around.
Yeah, let's swim
Would
down
like to
and
see
smack.
if they will react at all to some that he's going to create, his druid craft.
You're gonna try and like lure them off with some food?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Can you roll me an animal handling check? Yeah, so you go ahead and you start dropping little, like conjuring little bits of like flecks of like fish food effectively. And you see them kind of like bite at them and nipping at them, and they kind of slowly move a little bit away from the chest. You think it'd be easier now to sneak up toward it if that's something you were trying to do, but they're still kind of near it.
I'll see if I can't slip in unnoticed.
Okay. Do you have a swim speed, Waiyubi?
I do.
Oh boy. All right. Can you roll me a stealth check then? Just a normal old stealth check. So you're swimming over to the chest. I assume that's what you're doing, right?
Indeed.
Okay. You take I guess you don't take a breath. You just move underwater and begin to swim toward it. And these fish are they were on alert, kind of guarding this chest. But now they've been distracted by the fish food. And combined with that, their passive perception is normally only 8, and they don't have advantage for any reason anymore because that was nullified by the fish food. So you actually sneak past them, you swim over to the treasure chest. It's a little hefty, but you want to just grab it and run, or are you also going to try and sneak that out kind of carefully? But you're
I will try to sneak that out carefully.
That'll be a sleight of hand check. Yeah, you kind of slowly poke it out of the sand and swim back up. Sure. Can you roll me one last stealth check just to swim away at this point? Because you got in, you have the chest.
Well, wait, no, I suppose I can't go prone under.
Yeah, it doesn't help too much underwater, but nonetheless, you're able to swim out. Odowodus, you see that like your friend has gotten out of there, and I imagine you stopped with the fish food.
I just kind of make sure that I'm leading them away from, sort of a little bit away from my friends and party mates as we get to shore, so that if they get angry and decide to attack, they're attacking me and not anyone else.
Gotcha. Well, thankfully for you all, they don't seem to. You are able to keep them distracted well enough, and Waiyubi, you surface with this small treasure chest. It's maybe, I don't know, 1.5 feet wide by 8 to 10 inches deep, similarly tall. It's like a sizable little chest made of wood with kind of some iron bands. It seems nice. And yeah, you swim over to the side where Kokla, have you been doing anything while they've been swimming around in the water, or are you just watching?
I may have taken a look around and gotten some rope ready to him with the chest. I may have gotten some rope ready to help lift the chest up.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Odowodus is pretty sure that he still has a rope tied around his waist.
Yes, Odowodus does. I mean, Odowodus is going to need some help
She's
getting
just grabbing the rope that's tied to Odowodus and just...
You've got it like pulled around a tree for leverage and just helping him get up. Beautiful.
Odowodus just kind of like looks, points at the chest. Do you need help with that? And then just kind of like holds their hand out to take the chest, and if they are given the chest, tucks it under their arm like a tiny football.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, between the lot of you, you're able to get back up on that on the side you need to go pretty easily. But I do want both Jeremiah and Kokla to roll me perception checks, because both of you had a fair amount of time on that other side of the river. Okay. So both of you are looking around, and you didn't really see anything at first, but then you notice there's a long shadow that kind of comes out from the forest. It almost looks like a hanging man. But as you kind of follow it back, afraid to see what you'll see, it's a beehive hanging from a tree. And you're like, oh, it's just a beehive. But Kokla, there's something, as like you see a couple bees crawling around it, there's something shiny in that beehive. Like as one of the bees crawls out a little hole opening in the front, there's something almost gem-like buried within it.
Guys, there's something shiny in the beehive.
Ooh, I'm kind of hungry.
Odowodus will make him some fruit.
So Odowodus, as you conjure fruit, Jeremiah, are you just going over to the beehive to have at these bees?
You betcha.
And sneak to the beehive.
Okay, so you go to sneak over to the beehive. Can you roll me a stealth check, Kokla? So I imagine this is kind of happening as you guys are, as Waiyubi and Odowodus are like getting the treasure chest up and like opening it up to look what's inside of it. You two, Jeremiah and Kokla, are going over to deal with the beehive. Kokla, you sneak over. You're like, I did pretty good, maybe. Jeremiah, you just walk right over. As you're getting there's a bunch of bees starting to come out. Do you want to do anything about that? Or are you're just good? You're just gonna go try and like.
I just start lashing my tongue out at them and start eating them.
Yeah, you just and like you're chowing down on these bees. They're not really having any real chance against you as you're just kind of devouring them one after another. They're pretty good, like for random old forest bees. Until you take like one bite and then something doesn't feel right about that one. Like you chomp and it doesn't like chomp. And then you feel it starting to like swell up in your mouth. And you see it's the rest of you. Like I imagine Odowodus, you've just like, you're looking at this chest that you're finally ready to look, like crack open and look in. And you look over and you see Jeremiah is just standing there. And you see a giant like bee is starting to like swell up and expand in their mouth. It's not like their mouth is swelling up. There's just a giant bee that's growing out of their mouth.
Oh my.
I need you all to roll for initiative real quick as you have now encountered a giant bee. Okay. We got nice. What rolls today, except for Waiyubi? But Waiyubi, you're too focused on this treasure chest you already got. The giant wasp got a 13. I'm sorry, it's not even a bee, it's a wasp. That's what gave it the bad taste. But first to go is Kokla. Kokla, what would you like to do? It looks like all of the wasps are out of this nest.
I'm going to continue trying to go for the shiny.
Okay, you're just gonna try and sneak in. Can you roll me a sleight of hand check to snag the shiny? Okay, you go in, you reach in, and you grab it, hand on the shiny. But as you reach in, you feel like a gloop, and there's honey all over your hand, and you're stuck in it.
Oh no.
But the shiny's in your hand, but your hand is stuck in the opening of the wasp nest. And you swear you can feel little wasps inside of it kind of crawling on you that you didn't expect.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Odowodus, what would you like to do?
Odowodus would like to kind of go over to the hive, look at it briefly.
You see Kokla's like arm stuck in the front of it, like a kid caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
And then turn and try to hand. Is this wasp like sticking out of Jeremiah's mouth at this point?
Yes, at this point, like the abdomen of the wasp is like, I mean, this is a giant wasp. It's about like probably 4 feet long, so it's mostly out of Jeremiah's mouth at this point. And it's swelled up really quickly.
Okay, if it's that far out, I'm going to greatsword it.
Sure. You take a great sword and I guess you just had this great sword, just kind of blends in. Yeah, you swing it down, absolutely hitting it. Go ahead and roll me your damage as you attack this giant wasp.
Oh!
Holy moly! Wow, what a roll! Maximum damage. Yeah, you cleave into this giant wasp. It is not happy. No, I'm sorry. It's dead, actually. You just kill it. You cut the back end of this wasp off. My goodness. Okay. Jeremiah, it's your turn. You have half a giant wasp in your mouth. What would you like to do?
The wasp is dead, so
Just gonna swallow it down, just gulp.
No.
You just crunch it up, and it smushes up like any sort of bug would. Down it goes. Is there anything else you'd like to do? You can see that Kokla still has their hand stuck in the nest.
I'll give her a hand.
Okay, so you're just kind of like, as you're chewing up this big wasp, you go over and you try. Are you trying to pull it free, or are you trying to help them get free next turn?
Trying to help her get.
Okay. Mechanically, you can either give Kokla advantage on their chance to escape, or you can roll an athletics check to try and pull them free. Either one's perfectly fine. Okay. So you're helping Kokla for when they try and get out next turn. I mean, I'm assuming you're going to try and get out, Kokla. You might just be happy here forever. I don't know.
I want out.
Waiyubi, it's your turn. What would you like to do? You have this big treasure chest in front of you. Treasure chest in front of you.
I will carry the treasure chest over so we don't lose it amid more illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that the wasp is dead and all we really have left of the encounter, as far as I know, is getting the kobold's hand out of the honey jar, or I mean, that's fair. I will just kind of set it down at our feet, just all standing around the nest, put a arm on either side of the hive and just try to smush it.
All right, can you roll me an athletics check? You're going for it, but it seems really tough for a beehive. Probably the illusion magic would be your guess.
Yeah.
All right, we are on to the bees. Oh boy, you feel a bunch of stings try and get you. It is their turn, right? I should have actually already done them. Whoopsies. Yeah, you feel a bunch of stings try and get you. Kokla, inside the nest. What is your armor class?
13.
All right. Zing zing, they sting you for 7 points of piercing damage. A ton of damage. Are you still okay?
Ow. I am.
Oh no! Kokla, your hand all gets stung a whole bunch by these wasps. Actually, no. With your hand covered in the honey, it should be half damage, but it's still 4 points of piercing damage. Are you still up?
Well, then I have 1 hit point.
Okay, so you're at 1. You're getting stung to death by wasps inside the nest. We move to the top of the initiative, which now is you, Kokla. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna cast.
Oh god, you're just gonna cast a spell. Okay.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds
Fair enough.
on myself.
Okay. And do you want to try and get out of the nest as well? Okay. Can you roll me an athletics check with advantage to try and pull yourself free? And then you can do your Cure Wounds. See how much hit points you regain. Yeah! With the help from your friend, Jeremiah, you're able to pull your arm free. I didn't realize you were that bad at athletics. Oh my goodness, this could have been really bad. But you know what? You got friends to rely on you. You pull your arm free. It is coated with honey, and you have in your hand what looks like a giant amber bee.
Ooh, shiny.
It's quite shiny. It's covered in honey. And you also now all can see the swarm of wasps inside of the nest. Kind of still zizzing around. We are back to you, Jeremiah. What would you like to do? Jeremiah?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what would you like to do? You just helped to get Kokla's arm free, and you can see that there are lots of wasps still swarming in the nest. Oh, are you saying anything, Sword? I'm not hearing you. Looks like we're having some Discord issues, y'all. See if you can reconnect, Sword, and then hopefully we can get you back in. Because I'm not hearing you talk.
I said I'm still hungry.
Oh, okay, you're just going back in. Okay. Okay. You know how I'm gonna treat that? Can you just roll me an attack roll with literally whatever you want, and we're gonna flavor that as like you eating these wasps. Okay. Now go ahead and roll me your damage, and this is gonna be how many wasps you eat. You eat 10 wasps. You're chowing, and you kill them all. Actually, I rolled minimum health. Yeah, you devour all the wasps. And they're all gone. So how does this work, Jeremy? Do you stick your mouth to the front and just like suck them out, or what? How does this work?
I just lash him up with my tongue.
All right. You got a whole bunch of delicious honey. And so all of the wasps appear to be dead.
Wow.
And once again,
wow, we
yeah,
did a lot of damage. That's all max damage.
Yeah, I know, right? Talk about tons of damage. As the last of the wasps seem to die, what would you like to do? It seems that there are none left to fear, Waiyubi. Would you like to do anything? Or?
Well, should we not be getting back to our search of the edge of the illusion?
Well, what did you find in that chest?
I look down at the chest that we haven't opened yet.
Yep.
And shrug.
Do you want to flip it open?
Yeah, let's flip it open.
Who's flipping it open?
Odowodus will flip. We'll look down. Notice the chest hasn't actually been, and
open it up.
Yep.
All right, as you flip it open, there's like a gleam of light that comes out of it, and looking at it, it appears to be filled with platinum coins, and there's like a letter folded up on top of it. And yeah, that's what it seems to be filled with, like actual treasure.
What does the letter say?
It reads, "Suck it, Bartholomew, no treasures here." But as you look at it, it's filled with treasure if you want platinum.
Odowodus will take the chest. If nothing else, it's shiny.
Yeah, it's a very fine chest. You just dump all the platinum out on the ground?
No, just keep the platinum in there. Who knows? Perhaps it can be useful for something. Or convertible into Bartholomew bucks. Who knows?
What were you saying, Kokla?
Kokla is still very injured and would like to heal herself.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. 6 points of cured wounds, and you're fit as fiddle. And so you have captured the amber wasp, and well, a fine treasure chest that is unfortunately not a magical trinket for Bartholomew. Just a false flag. If you dig through the treasure in there, the platinum, there is in fact a weird red fish in there that just seems to be a dead fish. But as you're standing around and you start to head deeper into the forest, where you'll be kind of leading the stride, you hear a voice call out over the din of the falling rain and the storm. And the voice says, "Hey, you over there!" And looking off to your right, you see maybe 100 feet away in the forest. It's actually probably ahead of you, not really to your right, but off ahead of you, maybe 100 feet. A person is standing there, just a nondescript. They look like a villager, like a farmer. You know, they're wearing simple brown clothes. They're very damp because it's wet, and they've got kind of dark, kind of black hair that just kind of is running down because it's very damp. Fairly short cut though. Hey, who are you?
I will slowly and methodically begin preparing one of my spines to hurl and attack this thing if anyone is like, don't.
You should go back across the river. You're not welcome over here. It's too dangerous.
Odowodus will...
I'm dangerous.
will hear this, "it's too dangerous," and respond by just by just kind of flipping, just like turning his greatsword over and stabbing it into the ground.
You
in a
do
bit of
that.
a show of force.
Yeah, the guy's kind of like, you can't see him super well because of all of the foliage and everything, but you see like, you know, the top half of him poking out over like shrubs and stuff that's just interposed between you all. It's not like he's hiding behind something specifically. But yeah, the person calls out again. It looks like a, you know, 20, 30 something year old dude, something like that. Early 30s, late 20s, hard to tell. But yeah, just, no, you really need to not go this way. You should go back across the river. This is my land.
How can he have land when this is an illusion?
I've owned this land forever. This is mine.
But
River,
we're in an
you should-
illusion.
No, I live here.
I doubt that. I doubt that very much.
How else am I here if I don't live here?
You are part of the illusion, of course.
I'm pretty real.
Baloney!
Some illusions can be very real.
No?
Does a 14 pierce the illusion?
Oh, you throw a spine at him?
Yes.
Let's see. No, actually, he kind of like, dodged the other way and says, oh, okay, that's how it's gonna be, huh? And you see, he kind of like ducks behind one of the bushes. And he calls out, I warned you, you should have left. That is kind of quiet. You don't see him anymore. What would you all like to do?
Odowodus
He's gonna be
picks his
paranoid
greatsword
now
up,
and be glancing around.
Okay.
holds it at the ready, and just looks around.
Yeah,
Well,
looking around.
that was eventful. Shall we continue?
I'm
Yeah, he
gonna
was
put on
right
the
up in front
helm.
of you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna put on the helm of the headless
Uh-huh.
and just walk around as like a pair of frog legs. See if I can't spook him.
So you put on this pumpkin helmet, which covers most of you. You've got like the frog legs, and like maybe your arms are sticking out the bottom of it. But yeah, you're just walking around.
Ooh,
Okay.
frog legs.
oh no. So as you're all, I think you're all pretty much on alert right now, right? I'd like you all to roll perception checks, actually. Oh, Jesus. You're on fire today, Flipnote. Kokla's got eyes. All right, well. Oh, he got a 7. You all see this guy sneaking up on you, or trying to. He's coming up like the way you're going, so directly the way you're facing. And he gets to about 30 feet from you, and you see him like coming out of a bush wielding an axe. And just, I'd like you all to roll for initiative against the man with an axe.
Oh.
All right.
I wish I could take that D20 and save it.
Well, you know, I mean, you're going to have some advantage against this man with an axe. All right. The man with an axe goes, I'm going to have to just kill you then. Odowodus, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Oh, Odowodus sees an axe and just completely flies off the handle and chops at this man with his greatsword,
Okay.
flying into a rage.
Oh, excellent, excellent. All right, you run up to him and swing with your axe, and you hit him definitely, and he dies. You cut his head off. Blood spurts everywhere, and he collapses to the ground. He's got no head now. Kind of anticlimactic. Oh, he died real fast.
Do not threaten Tree Man with axe.
Okay. And as you're looking at him, he seems like in really rough shape now that you're like getting close to him. Like maybe he hasn't been taking very good care of himself. Jeremiah, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna like step away from the blood.
You're just gonna try and step around him. Okay, so you're gonna just try and go head past and keep going? He's 30 feet ahead of you right now. The dead man with the axe.
And the really angry tree.
I'm just gonna keep on going.
Okay, so you just go and stride past him. You're now 30 feet beyond the man with the axe. And as you all do that, something happens.
Odowodus would like to take a look at the body to see if there are any
it's
signs.
not actually your turn, Odowodus.
Oh.
Because as you
Things are
step
happening.
past, as you step past Jeremiah, it turns the man with the axe's turn, and then the axe is dead. But you can see kind of crawling out from the neck of the man with the axe, and you see this, Odowodus, because you're right there, a little tiny worm. And this worm flicks at you and lands on your face. You take 1 temporary piercing damage, Odowodus. This is not reduced by your rage. Now there's a worm stuck on your face.
Oh.
All right. It's digging into you. Waiyubi, what would you like to do? I'm sorry, do you call out at all, Odowodus, if there's a worm on your face?
I just kind of go cross-eyed and like trying to look at this worm.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit. You took 1 temporary piercing damage from it.
It's but a worm.
All right, Waiyubi, what would you like to do? You just saw a worm just flick itself up from the dead guy onto your friend.
I mean, if it's truly one worm, I'm sure he'll manage. I'm just gonna head forward towards Jeremiah. I'm gonna give like a slightly probably rude berth around Odowodus, and I'm gonna take a dodge action over by Jeremiah.
All right, so you're like looking at the worm, and you see the worm is like, it's like a tiny little kind of gray-white grub, and it's trying to like burrow into his face. Kokla,
I bet it is.
Kokla, what would you like to do?
The worm with my crossbow.
You're gonna shoot the worm with your crossbow? You're just gonna
Not the eyes.
aim your crossbow at your friend's face and fire. You hit the worm. Go ahead and roll me the damage. 5 points. Okay. The worm takes 5 points of piercing damage. It's still alive somehow. You see, like, it's kind of like its body deforms, and it got like a cut from the bolt, but the bolt didn't hit dead on, and so it just kind of cut along the side of it. Seems kind of tough for a worm. Also, Odowodus, you take 5 points of piercing damage, which is reduced by half because you're raging, as you get shot in the face by a hand crossbow.
Ow.
Sorry.
Odowodus, it's your turn. There's a worm on your face.
I am going to attempt to get the worm off of my face.
That would be a DC 12 dexterity ability check. Oh, yeah, you pluck the worm off your face. It's now wriggling on your hands. Would you like to do anything else?
Can I just like fling the worm?
Yeah, you
Or
just
would that
flick it
be an
off
extra-
into the forest. It's fine.
Yeah, just like floomph and try to get it very, very, very far away from any part of the party.
Yeah, you huck it off into the forest. Jeremiah, what would you like to do?
Ooh, dessert.
You go after the worm. Did you just go after the worm, Jeremiah?
Yep.
Okay, can you roll me a perception check looking for it wherever it landed? Yeah, you can't find it just amidst all the shrubbery. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Oh, well. Moving along.
Actually, you know what? I think you can find it. No, yeah, you find the worm. You just saw where he threw it. You find the worm. Would you like to pick it up?
Why would I use my hands?
Okay, you try and eat it. All right, can you roll me just an attack roll again? We'll count this as just you biting it and trying to eat it. You hit it. 19 hits. It takes some more damage. It's a very chewy worm. It's still alive. As you're trying to chow it down. Just kind of you're chewing hard, trying to get it. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Jeremiah?
Not at the moment.
All right. The worm is going to flick from your mouth as you're chewing itself toward... Who's it going to flick toward? That would be... Odowodus. It flicks back to you. The worm blip, flicks back from where you threw it out of your friend's mouth and hits you in the arm this time. You take 1 point of temporary piercing damage. Which, for all intents and purposes, count as piercing damage. But the worm's on your arm again, Odowodus. Waiyubi, what would you like to do?
I don't like the look of that worm.
Uh-huh.
But it also hasn't really done
It
anything.
just flicked around.
Are you still playing with that thing? Flick it into the forest and let's be on our quest. And I suppose I will just kind of try to, shish kebab it. That's what I was trying to...
It's a tiny little worm. You're probably going to hit your friend if you try and attack it.
If I take disadvantage, can I try to get in at a side angle to attack?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll give it to you. You go ahead and try and shank it, but yeah, unfortunately you miss. He's very wriggly for a worm. And unfortunately your spine misses it. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Waiyubi?
I will shift from my spine to... The spine almost seems to break apart as it kind of turns more towards a tentacle with spines upon.
Oh, God.
Shifting weapon. Oh, yeah, it's all terrible. Everything I have for Waiyubi is terrible.
I mean, I think you mean excellent. Waiyubi, best waifu? I don't know. All right. So that means, Kokla, it's your turn. The worm's back on your friend. This time it's on their arm. Would you like to do anything?
Does a worm have an ability to hear things?
You don't know, maybe.
Okay, then I'm gonna try to use vicious mockery on the worm.
Okay. And what do you say to this worm?
Significant little pest.
Oh, it's all true. So the worm, I think, needs to roll a wisdom saving throw. The worm suffers 1 point of psychic damage, and actually, it's actually vulnerable to psychic damage. So it takes 2 points and begins wriggling angrily in agony. It seems that your words really cut deep for this worm. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Kokla?
The tree friend.
I'm good with my turn.
Okay, beautiful. Odowodus, it's your move. The worm's on you again. It's trying to burrow into you again.
Odowodus is going to grab one. Is going to take a hand axe off his belt and just look down at the worm and just try to shave down and cut the worm with the hand axe.
Okay. So I will say, you can make an attack against the worm, no problem, but you will also take the damage. Or you can make the attack with disadvantage, and then you wouldn't take the damage. Your choice.
I'll make the attack with disadvantage.
Okay. You do have resistance to your damage, though, because you're still raging.
Yeah.
You're still pissed at this worm.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm pissed at the guy with the axe who is threatening us. This worm just is a nuisance that is keeping me angry.
Excellent. Go ahead and make your disadvantage attack roll against the worm. Unfortunately, you're trying to scrape at it, and you like kind of line it up and go to like shing, pull it down, and the worm like jumps and then jumps over your axe and bites onto your arm again. It kind of surprises you. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Odowodus?
No, that's...
All right.
Yeah, that's about it. It's kind of hard to attack one arm with itself.
It's true. Jeremiah, it's your move, and then the worm goes again. What would you like to do?
Try to get with my tongue again.
Yeah, you want to just bite it again? You go over to your friend's arm and just try and bite down? Or do you want to try and like pluck it off?
Yeah, pluck it off with my tongue.
Okay. Can you roll me a dexterity ability check then? The difficulty is 12 to remove the worm. Excellent. Expert tonguesmanship. Jeremiah, you flick the worm off and it flops onto the ground harmlessly. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Like a bonus action or something?
Well, I really haven't used this yet.
Okay. You should have just okay, go ahead, you hit the worm. Like, you flick it off him, then you shoot him. Go ahead and roll me the damage. 3 points of piercing damage against the worm. Don't you get a special bonus damage for being a grung with a blowgun?
I just get proficiency as far as I know.
I thought your grung poison applied to the blowgun.
I didn't see anything on the...
That might have just been something we were spitballing at the time.
Probably.
Spitballing with a blowgun?
Hey! No. When you deal damage using your blowgun, you may deal extra damage equal to your Constitution modifier. It's under your poisonous skin ability. So what's your Constitution modifier?
2.
You kill the worm. Shoot it with your blowgun, and it dies. And this not terrifying at all.
Like a shish kebab, huh?
Yeah, exactly. The blowgun just kind of sticks on it, and you just gotta pick it up, and looks tasty.
No.
Down the worm goes, and it doesn't burrow into your brain and control you, Odowodus. Instead, it goes into Jeremiah's stomach to be digested. And as this worm, dies, and you find yourselves just in the kind of, rainy forest. You continue to travel. As you do so, you find that the rain seems to fade away the further you go. You find yourself passing over hill and through light vale. And as you go, the forest becomes more and more sparse. The crooked branches of the trees that reach down seem to, not reach quite as far, not loom quite as dark. The cloud cover in the sky seems not quite as thick. But as you go, things seem off. Shadows which fall from plant and shrub don't quite line up. They aren't quite right. You see trees which, although they branch in strange ways, don't seem to follow basic laws of physics. They seem far too heavy, growing thicker as they go higher. You see, at one point, rocks just beginning to float away into the sky. And everything gets heavier and heavier until it feels like, as you walk, you're wading through liquid, not through air. And as you push against this furthest most middle boundary of the illusion, elsewhere, your other companions are hard at work doing the same. And this is where we leave off on that adventure. You all having traversed the spooky forest and reached the furthest bounds of the middle illusion. Thank you all for playing. You all earn your requisite Bartholomew bucks experience, of course. And we'll be right back in one moment when we get ready for Game 3. Stay tuned, everyone.